Alright, so the first story is titled The Restroom Lady. My aunt told me this story when she was pregnant with my cousin when this happened. I'm not sure the exact year, but it was probably 10 to 15 years ago. She was working in this electronics factory and she was on a rotating night shift, so she was about, I think, like 6 or 7 months pregnant, probably 6 months. And she had to work at night, which means the graveyard shift. So for those working at night, her supervisor would advise everyone to not go to the restroom alone and to find a partner to go in groups because it might be dangerous if you're by yourself and no one knows where you went. So one night, her best friend was working with her, and since she was pregnant, she had to frequently go to the restroom a lot. Then, one time she had to pee really bad and her friend wasn't available as she was stuck with work. So, since she couldn't wait any longer, she decided to go by herself. There were 2 restrooms that were open for use. One is on the 2nd floor and the other on the 4th floor. But a lot of people just go to the one on the 2nd floor because it's nearer. The 4th floor was actually for another department, but they don't work that late. So it was about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, probably around 2 a.m. in the morning, and she went to the restroom on the 2nd floor, but there was a lot of people, so she had to wait in line. However, she couldn't hold it any longer, so she decided to run up to the 4th floor instead. She had to climb the stairs as the elevators were under maintenance. As she walked up the stairs, she saw another lady walking in front of her. She continued walking without suspecting anything, but as she was observing the lady, it seemed like the lady was wearing a very unique dress. It's kind of old-fashioned, it's white and frilly, it doesn't look like it's allowed to be worn for work. She was wondering who this lady was, but she really needed to pee urgently. She didn't think much about it. She saw the lady go into the restroom door. She waddled as fast as she could towards the door, hoping all the cubicles are empty. The minute she entered, she saw another lady. Not the lady in the white earlier, but another one, standing in front of the mirror. Without thinking much, she quickly went into the cubicle to relieve herself. When she's done, she got out and went to the sink to wash her hands. The creepy lady was still standing in front of the mirror, but the other lady who was in the old-fashioned dress was nowhere to be seen. But this person standing in front of the mirror was acting weird. She was just looking at my aunt through the reflection and smiling so widely, just staring and smiling without saying anything, and she looks like a Southeast Asian lady, probably late 40s. My aunt just smiled and quickly went out of the restroom because she felt weird and kind of creeped out. She returned safely to her working area and told her best friend what happened. Her best friend just laughed it off and said that, it could have been someone trying to play a prank on her or scare her. And so they both ignored it, but my aunt made sure to avoid going there again. So the next day, my aunt had a high fever and had to report sick. She got 5 days of medical leave as the doctor told her to have a sufficient bed rest. Then the next day, she received a telephone call and it was her best friend frantically speaking to her on the phone. She said, oh my god, what you said is true. I went to the 4th floor in the restroom and I saw her. I saw that scary lady standing in front of the mirror too, but what happened to me was worse. She said when she got out of the bathroom, she got up to clean herself and turned to flush, but when she turned around, the lady was right behind her in the cubicle. The lady said,
"Let me clean it for you."
Okay, yeah, that kind of creeps me out a little. Oh my aunt's friend screamed and fainted in the cubicle and she was brought to the hospital where she fell sick as well. She had, high fever and stuff, and she never really recovered from that incident. Ever since then, my aunt didn't go back to the same place because she was very scared for her pregnancy, for a baby, so she immediately resigned and worked elsewhere. So, rumor has it that there was that happened in the restroom. In that restroom on the 4th floor, the cleaning lady was said to have lost her husband tragically, so she smashed the mirror and used the glass and bled right there in front of the sink, near the cubicle that my aunt's best friend was in. The end.